Okay guys, so I'm leaving Dambly's. There's a truck over there, sorry for the noise. So I got a 2 cubic foot bag of the ProMix. They had bumper crops, so I got 2 cubic foot bag of that. And then, and these are all my canvas shopping bags, because in New Jersey, they can't get plastic bags at the store, so you gotta bring your own bag. Anyway, I got this trellis. It's 90 inches long. I'm gonna try it to put one of my roses on it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a U post in the ground and attach this to this, maybe with some zip ties or something, so that I don't have to put any part of this into the ground really. Maybe a couple inches, but I want most of the height under the ground. Now what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to wind the rose around this to create more laterals. So more on that later. But the only thing I did not find were the inserts for the trays. So I'm a little disappointed with that. You know what? I thought I was filming all this time, but I don't think I was. So anyway, guys, it's Brooke here from the Vintage Gardener. Welcome back to my channel. So it's President's Day. I've been outside getting some of my cleanup started. I started off by deadheading all the limelight hydrangeas because all the little nodes were swollen, and I'll show you guys that. And so I wanted to go ahead and take all those flower heads off, because when it starts pushing green growth, it looks a hot mess with that dead stuff. So let me turn the camera around. Okay guys, so I realized on the video with pruning the limelights that I didn't show you, it didn't tape, and I didn't realize it until I was editing it. So this is one of the little limes, and it works just as well. But typically when you're pruning it back, you want to go down to a node and cut right above it. Right here, this is the node. This is where all the little sprouts are going to come from. And this is where like new branches are going to come from, new leaves. And so this is where you want to cut it. Now with this one, when I cut it back, I thought it was alive up to where I cut it, but you know, it hadn't finished leafing out, and we got a cold snap after I cut everything back. So on this one, I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut back down to the node, because there's no point, because basically it's only going to flush out from down here. It's just going to be green and then brown sticks. So pretty much everywhere on this bush, I'm going to do that. So I have to, it looks like from what I can see, I'm going to have to cut this one down lower, and then let's see. And some of these, actually a lot of this, there's a lot of dye back here, because like this branch right here, I'm actually going to have to cut it down to here. So anyway, that's how you know where to cut on your hydrangea. Now, you can do it at an earlier point. It does, you know, if you're not experienced doing it, you can wait until it starts leafing out so it's easier to see. It's really up to you. If you can't tell if something is alive or dead, then what I would recommend you do is like scratch the bark, because once you get past this, if it's alive, you're going to see a light green color, where if it's dead, it's going to be kind of all oh, sorry guys, that's the pollen. It's going to be a brown stick. So like I said, when I cut this, I cut this back much earlier, and we got, actually, I think we did get a cold snap that went down to 4 degrees. So I'm not surprised there's a little bit more dieback with this. So guys, that is how you do it. The thing with pruning limelight hydrangeas is that you need to wait until the stems are the width of a thumb. Now, they say thumb. I don't know, is that supposed to be a man's thumb, woman's thumb? Thumb. So, I don't know whose thumb they're talking about. Probably man's, I guess. Because the thing is, when you cut it above that node, it'll send, where you cut it, it's going to send off branch. And if the stem width is not as thick as the thumb, you know, it's going to form a massive head and then it's just going to fall over. So you need to make sure that it's big enough, the branch is big enough so that it can support that bloom. So let me show you what else I did. First off, I took this one sunflower down. It's like a tree. Hang on. Okay guys, so here's the sunflower. Can you guys see it? Yeah, look at that. It has this like massive trunk. I was able to push it over, but I think I'm gonna have to get like my mini chainsaw to take that thing apart because it's kind of big. But I'm going to be working on cutting all this down. I am currently charging my the battery for my hedge clippers because I think I'm just gonna try it that way. But I found, actually, if you guys saw the earlier segment, I found this trellis at Dambly's, and so I am winding the rose bush around it. Now I'm trying to be careful. I'm trying to get back here, but I'm trying not to step on anything because I can see peonies and everything coming up, plus my chrysanthemums. But let me actually go back out. Okay, so this branch right here is really, really, really thick, and so I was trying to be careful because I didn't want to break it. So the thing with roses is that you don't want the branches to cross. So I put the big one through here. I used a plant clip to hold it in place, and I brought it around this side and I clipped it in place. There was a secondary branch right here. I went around the back. I brought it through here, I clipped it, and I looped it around. And so, like I said, my goal is to make sure that the branches are not touching, because when they start rubbing against each other, it can cause a scar. That's how pathogens get in. I should have started doing this last year because the branches would have been a lot more whippy and everything. When you have a climbing rose, like what I have, you have to create horizontal surface, because if you have it just straight up and down, what's going to happen is it's only going to bloom at the top. Oops, hang on guys. It's only going to bloom at the top. So by, for example, like bending it like this and that sort of thing, hopefully it'll create what are called laterals, and then you'll get blooms off the laterals. So yeah, so like I said, if I had started earlier, I would have been able to probably wind it a little bit more, but we'll see. So as this continues to grow, I'll just continue to train it around the fan, because I want it to take this one right here, I want it to go this way, and this one, it's in the back. I'm actually going to go loop it around the back to front, and hopefully I should have a nice column of blooms. So this worked well, so I need to get some more, because I have a lot more climbing roses. So let's see. Stock tanks, and as you can see, I cleaned them, cut them down. The chrysanthemums are actually blooming from the base, so that's good. Let's come back in here. I see some heuchera right there. There's some geum right there. Let's see. I see a chrysanthemum back there. I see a peony over there. I don't know if you guys can see that red. Yeah, there we go. That's a peony. Let's see. I know there's another geum. There's one back there, and I think there's one over there. And so, yeah. And that's another heuchera. Let's see. Oh, and I see some yarrow and some bearded iris down there. Let's go back around this way. Those are bearded iris. Hang on, I'm just gonna step over this. That's one of the heuchera. I think it's the citron one. And then I have the caramel heuchera over here. So lots of cleaning up to do, guys. Lots of cleaning up to do. First things first, I'm going to get my hedge trimmer. That's a climbing rose. I'm going to have to... Okay, there's one right there, and then one right there. I'm going to have to train these bad boys. So yeah, I just have a lot of training to do for things. So I'm going to see what I can do with the hedge trimmers, and then I'm going to start raking things out. Okay, so the one button isn't working. It won't start and stop recording, so that's a pain. But I'm gonna go get my what's it called? Tripod. I'll set up the time lapse, and we'll see how all this goes. I've never used the hedge trimmers for that, so it'll be interesting to see if it works. So. Okay guys, so I gotta work on getting all my videos up, but now that you've seen how I cut things back, everything is flushing out now. I gotta get some fertilizer sticks into these bad boys because this is gonna be a long growing season this year. So I gotta weed this bed. As you can see, let's just ignore that. But look at this. It is coming back with a vengeance. And of course, everywhere where I cut, as you can see, like, it's sending out like a rosette, like a little three sets of blooms. So these are going to be new branches. So I'm really excited. This hedge, I think, is going to be pretty spectacular this year. So I mean, the back ones, they'll put on. Probably, I would say the back ones are going to end up this height by the end of the year. With this height right here, it's going to be 3 feet taller. Should be about 3 feet taller than what it is. So everything should start filling in, and it'll really start to look like a privacy hedge. So yeah,